Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. I hope you're having a good day. In this video, I want to talk about 3 who questions related to ANOVA tables. Specifically, who creates these tables, who reads these tables, and generally speaking, who ignores these tables. Now, the first thing you need to understand that when you are conducting an analysis of variance, it doesn't really matter what field you're in. The tables that you see in your outputs in your statistical software, and that you can see in this figure right here, or this table right here, very rarely make it into journals. What I want to do is make sure that you understand this is probably the best way to create a table, and the person who is going to create this table should be you. One of the reasons why some of these tables don't make it into articles is because the authors don't take the time to create them. And if you're writing a dissertation, you're trying to explain things to your chair, to your committee, I cannot stress enough, as the person making these tables and conducting these analyses, it's your responsibility to create these tables properly. If you do so, you're more likely to make it into articles that will more than likely be published in a higher tiered journal. And that's really what you're shooting for. So who creates these tables? Typically it's the graduate student. Sometimes first, second year professors who have understood a little bit more about statistics, you can ask them to help you. But generally speaking, it's going to be up to you. Now, who ignores these tables, or reads these tables? Apologize. You'd be surprised. Most of your professors really like to read these tables if they're done properly. The problem is most people don't treat them that way, so they get confused. Now, just as a quick reminder, this table, all I have to do is take this value, sum of squares for between, divide by the degrees of freedom, and that gives me the mean square value here. I can do the same thing with within, divide by degrees of freedom here, and that gives me this value. The F ratio is then found by taking mean squares between divided by mean squares within. That gives me this number. I can then look at a table to find the p-value for the degrees of freedom. That's how we read an ANOVA table. Now, for those that can't read it, guess what they do? That answers the last question. Who ignores these tables? It's typically people who aren't very well versed, but we compound that problem by the person who created the table in the first place. They have a really bad habit sometimes of taking out vital information. I want to show you a quick example. I found this table on the internet, and it looks like whoever wrote this just basically did a series of ANOVA and ANCOVA analyses and then put the results in a series of tables. Now, don't get caught up in looking at the content. It really doesn't matter. What matters is the presentation. Whoever built these tables built them in such a way that most people would have a difficult time interpreting them. If you don't want to do that, you want to create tables that people can make sense of. Hope this video has answered some of your questions. Hope it's raised some questions. If it has, we'd love to hear it. Otherwise, I hope you have a good day.